We've got a below average youth intake, but I will say at least they've got the positions in the correct north-south orientation. And apparently we're learning that we play with wingbacks, so we've got one prospect. Today, my friends, we are going to be taking on Aberdeen Reserves in the SPFL Trust Trophy third round. But first, shock of all shocks, Murray Aiken, who turned us down last year, has decided to sign a contract with us this season at the end of his contract when he comes off of loan. In fairness, he only has 2 goals and 1 assist on a 707, but he's a 3.5-star prospect with at least a 4.5-star potential, according to our crack scouting staff. And he's a player for us right now. He's a young prospect. He's Scottish. He's the type of player we want to help build the nation with. And I'm hopping back here. This is something I never, ever do, but we're doing so well in the league. But they offered us an extra $3,000 from 33.37K in a wage budget of 15.64 to 36 grand plus a little bit more in the wage budget if we would guarantee a top half finish. And considering when that happened, we'd just drawn with Montrose and we were currently at the top of the table by a point and we're 20 points clear of 6th place, I felt pretty good about it. He says famous last words. And the only other game we've played since Montrose is Peterhead with a 3-0 smashing of them in the first half. We scored 3 goals the first 35 minutes. Look at the ratings. Even Fankati Dabo had an 8.6 because he had a whole 1 assist, but the rest of his game must have been just elite. And I do want to update you on our contract extension situation because I'm really not sure what to do in a couple of situations. We'll get to that after the game. And yes, I did have to replace my lights because the other ones burned out. Yay, cheap stuff from Home Depot. We are going to rotate just a smidge today, you might say, because it is Aberdeen's Reserves, and then we play 2nd place Hamilton. That is a game that could decide who wins the league. And then we have Hibernian in the Scottish Cup 4th round. 3 absolutely massive games. These 2 games are 4 days apart, and then we have a week. So I'm going to rotate in some of the players. As you can see here, we're going to put Winter up in the center forward. Goss is better as a deep lying forward because he has 6 acceleration and he's 14 strength, so he can kind of hold the ball up and not run in the center forward position. Clark is going to come back in. Robbie Thompson we're going to put in the midfield playmaker to rest Aitken. Karst, Harkness on the right, Selfridge on the left, and then Denham is not recovered from the last game. He's played a bunch of games for us this season, so Nelson gets to start at the right center back, which makes me a tad nervous. It also makes me nervous because a lot of these players are losing match sharpness, so I'm just hoping we don't botch this and get absolutely blown out. Winning this is worth about 12 grand, but again, I think I'd rather win the league and get further in the Scottish Cup, so rotation it is. All right, my friends, we are at home. Let's see what kind of formation they typically use. At least in possession, it's a 4-2-3-1. Some of these players don't have faces. Is that a good sign that they're not in my face pack? Because that means that they're reserves. And by reserves, I mean like the young lads, right? So we just kicked off here. Sorry if you hear any noise in the background. I have the washer and dryer running, and it shares a wall with my office that I record in. It's kind of a weird time of year, the holidays, trying to do stuff, you know, and they get stuff done. I've got my mom here in town, so it's a little hectic. I'm trying to put content out somewhat regularly, but thanks for watching. All right, here we are in the 13th minute. Goss heads that back towards his own goal, as you do to Nicky Clark, and then we immediately lose possession. Ball is pinging around. Ross. Oh, he finds the space here. Burns. He's got Harkness. Harkness forces him back, I should say. No one is covering the man wide open. He takes a long range shot that Lennox probably should have done better with, but he paws it off out for a corner. Here we go. Oh, he's got red highlights. Or is that orange hair, or has he dyed his hair? Not sure. Because it looked like it had, you know, kind of dark roots or whatever. Here I am commentating on players' hair color. Lennox rolls it out to Nelson. The young lad gets it to Harkness. Goss. Harkness with his purple boots on. He usually wears them on the away kit, but you know, maybe he left his other ones at his grand's house. Ondo. Okay, we're building here. Thompson does not know the defensive midfield role, so maybe that's a mistake putting him there. He's definitely more of the 10, but trying to get his match sharpness up and play Nicky Clark, because then maybe we don't play Nicky Clark against just curious what's going on here. Against Hamilton. Is it the Ackies? Hamilton Ackies? I'm actually not sure what just happened there. Did Karst flick it over the man's head or just around him? It doesn't matter. because Harkness has picked up yet another assist. He's trying to prove himself, getting ready for next season already. He ran right through him. I think that's an animation problem. He probably ran around him, like he dinked it past him and ran around him, but it's kind of like, what just happened? We pick right back up in the 17th minute. It's very shortly after kickoff. We didn't get to see the kickoff, but we've gone right back into a highlight. Alakouch. Not sure how you say that one. Bilalovic. I mean, do they have an all-international squad? Are we doing like international reserve recruiting? Is that what's happening here? That was lovely. Fair play by Lennox just to get that push out for a corner again. Brought it down and volleyed it. It was, oh, and then we don't get to see. Okay, fine. Yeah, good. I just checked the weather because I'm always curious if it's drizzling or raining. It's gusty and wet. So I've just moved our passing up from shorter to more standard. Hopefully the ball doesn't get like stuck in the wet pitch. Fourth Bank has a great pitch in general. Actually, not sure how to even find that in FM26, but you're just thinking like, hey, you cut inside. Keeper committed, and then nobody stepped in front for the shot. But just thinking like, you got a wet pitch. If you're just passing short, it probably doesn't roll as well. So I've kind of done that in a couple games and it's worked, but this is poor. What are we doing here? Okay. Kars is calling for help, and then keeper just goes super. I mean, what? He's on a 7.1. What's it drop to? A 7.0. A 7.0 for diving behind one of your defenders. I think it should be a bigger hit there. It's not good that they've got another immediate highlight. Maybe I shouldn't have moved it to standard passing, but as you do, they're just passing it around our box. It's like a training exercise here, lads. Stewart. And we just stood on, like the back line is just standing there. No one's helping close these people down. And we've given up 2 goals in what, like 2 or 3 minutes? It's time to pull the shout out. Like, I'm not sure what these guys are doing. Ondo, I mean, he's covering the cross, I guess, but we've got step out, close that guy down. It's not great. It's not great. They're up to a 0.79 XG, but they have had 11 shots to just our 4 with a 0.4 XG, so we've kind of still been in it. Selfridge is down to 6.4. I don't know if he just got tackled because he's down to a yellow heart, but Harkness is as well, but that's kind of Harkness's thing. I think his stamina is like a -4. Ondo, don't love that, mate. Don't love that. Heads it, long ball forward. He could have gotten to that. Oh, I thought that was a 3rd goal, to be fair. Maybe Lennox deserves some credit for rushing out and making him make a decision. Maybe. But it's not gone great. We have 66% possession, too. I'm not sure how much I'm going to be able to cut this out. This might end up being a long episode, but lots of highlights. He's hit the bar. Looked like a toe ball. Okay, are we collapsing back on this? He's played right through us. Okay, we're there. Okay, Nelson, the young lad. Oh, he panic stations. Or that's the standard passing, I guess, is just to hoof it up. What does direct passing look like? He takes a shot from there? That's a red card. Referee. Oh, referee. Okay, right before the half, there's +2 added on. We're about to be right at 45 on the clock. Suman hoofs it. And we run away from the man. Like, we didn't even attempt to win that header. We just said, yeah, you can have that second ball. Oh, boy. Oh, my. That was... What are we doing there? Does it... Oh, we're going to miss it. Ondo just walked away from Stewart and let him head the ball down. It's just bad. So we go into the half with a majority of possession and down 3-1. And actually, momentum not bad, other than these, like, this little run here was pretty bad for us. And it doesn't even I just realized that this doesn't show their 3rd goal. It didn't happen. It didn't happen, lads. It's fine. Everything's fine. Everyone was motivated except Kars, who's like, I'm on a 7.6. What do you want from me? Selfridge, I'm gonna take off here in 10 minutes. He was motivated. I want to see if he could do something there, but I think we're kind of getting cooked on the left wing. Their right winger is doing exceptional. He's down to a 6.2. I probably should have just subbed him off. But again, if you got to lose a game, it's probably going to be this one. He says as he loses the next 3 games, right? And we've just, oh my. What are we doing, lads? What are we doing? Let's watch this. Ball comes in. Punches out. That's fine. No one goes to, like, not a soul. Not a soul. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 guys in our box to cover their 3. Nobody runs out to cover the guy who just took the corner. We have 1 guy covering 2, lurking outside the box. Nobody, still nobody. They're all running towards the ball. That's just what Lennox is like. What do you want me to do there? He goes down to a 6.5. I really think that's harsh on Lennox. I think that's not his fault. All right, we're going to bring Aiken and Crane on. There's not a whole lot we can do here. I'm trying not to burn our legs out. We're down 4-1. The odds that we come back from this game is exceptionally low. I think we're going to try a little demand more. Like, I yelled at them during halftime. They didn't hate that. Harkness is like, bro, what do you want from me? Winter's on a 6.2. Clark is on a 6.2. Maybe it was changing the passing, you know? Maybe that's my bad. Karst swings it out. That's a great ball. Lee Hamilton, the captain, pulls one back in the 67th minute. You're saying there's not. I don't think there's a chance. Our last sub is going to be bringing on Ryan Shanley. Let's see if he can do the business. He's inspired. What if we have to go? Is it penalty? It doesn't matter. Look at their attacking midfield is just eating us up. We might as well go attacking. See what happens. Again, stick around because we're going to talk about the contract situation. Oh, he's just whiffed on the tackle. I mean, to be fair, it's probably one of those like 50-50s and the ball bounced around. So he did okay. Ondo could have done better there. Oh, the little 1-2s. I mean, triangles. Oh, Lennox, I don't know how much he knew about that, but he flicks it over. That's fine. We don't get to see what happened. And it ends 4-2. Nothing. Like, literally didn't get another highlight after that. Did they not sub once? Oh, that's even worse, isn't it? Like, that cuts deep. That cuts deep. I think we played okay. You know, if you look at just the XG, it's just that some of the mistakes we made were just absolutely devastating. The board just wanted us to be competitive. We've been knocked out by the reserves. We do get the 46 grand. I do think this is a bit odd. You go to the club vision. Be competitive. Preferred. Not really that important. Pass. And then, concerned about the loss against Aberdeen Reserves. I mean, Aberdeen are 6th in the Prem. I mean, I don't know what those reserves look like, but I mean, is it that bad? You tell me. You probably know more about the Scottish top division than I do. Okay, let's talk about the contract situation. So I can't remember how many of these I've reviewed with you or not. So I've got this sorted. I've added contract start date. So we signed Scott Ballmer. He was the youth prospect that came through. Legend. I've extended Louis Selfridge on December 5th, so it was about a month ago. He's all right. He won a squad player contract. But, like, I like that he can play the left center back role if we needed to in a wide center back. I'm not saying he's outstanding, but he does have the acceleration, and he's got some decent stamina, so he likes to run, and he plays the position that we want, and he was one of our first signings, and I kind of have a soft spot for Louis. He's only 19 years old, and he's got probably 3.5 star potential ability and not actually 4.5 star potential ability, but he can improve. So we're keeping him around. Next, Jack Harkness wanted a regular starter contract, and I was like, Jack, I've talked to your Grant. She doesn't even think you're that good. And so he took a squad player contract, but I bumped him out until 2029. I think Jack next season, that squad player and regular starter with Dabo switches like halfway through the season, because if you compare them right now, Dabo is the better player, right? Dabo is the blue here. That I'm shocked you can't tell which one's blue and which one's green, but Dabo is the blue one here. Jack's got all the speed, but he's got the defending now. He's got the mentals. He's got better aerial. He needs to work on the technical and the attacking and the vision, but like he's really developing, and I'm quite pleased with that. And at the same time, Dabo is 31 now, and he's starting to do kind of this while Jack is doing this. So I do think at some point next season that probably switches over. We'll have to figure out what to do with Dabo because he's on an important player contract, and I'm not so convinced of that. And then last, we did extend Ryan Shanley on a regular starter contract, and that was essentially purely because last season he gave us 17 goals and 33. When I signed him, he was on like 13 goals and 17 or something like that, or close enough. He's done well as he's moved up the leagues with us, and I think it would just be wrong if you got a guy who's giving you a goal, he's giving you 3/4 of a goal a game in League One. I'm not sure if that's the greatest idea, because from an attribute standpoint, he doesn't like wow me, right? He'll 11 finishing or whatever. And if we somehow get promoted either through the playoffs or by winning the league, Is this guy a championship level player? I don't know. It says right now he's a good player for most League One sides, but I wanted that continuity as well, if that makes sense, to have like if we somehow get promoted, and I'm not trying to count my chickens before they hatch, but I mean, like, we're 13 points clear of not being in the playoffs, right? So I feel pretty good about us at least being in the playoffs. And also, the wage that he wanted wasn't like astronomical, because I'm not sure what the board's going to give us next season when we get into the championship, if we get into the championship, I should say. And so I'm not sure if those are the best idea or not, but Nicky Clark's not going to be here. Andy Winter will be here. Tommy Goss is a 1-year rental, essentially. Like, we could drop him if we wanted to. And so I didn't want to completely start over with relationships. I'm kind of hoping that Andy and Ryan can kind of work together. And again, Ryan, if we find another amazing striker, may kind of slide into that squad player role. We'll just have to see. But then that leaves us with a slew of players starting down here and going up, highlighting all those guys. Murray Aitken sticking around. Cruz Dunbar is a youth prospect. I mean, we might extend him. He's on €6 a week. He'd probably want like 300. We'll see. Ronan Hughes was just a 1-year water carrier kind of guy. Aaron Lennox, I want to extend. I'm a little worried that he's going to want to be the first choice goalkeeper, and I'm not sure if Aaron is the first choice goalkeeper next season. So I think we need to go find another goalkeeper first before we offer Aaron a contract extension. But what do you think about that? Then we've got Ross Nelson, who again says he has 3.5-star potential, but like, he's just not there physically. I'm not sure if it's because I haven't offered him like an actual non-youth playing contract and he hasn't been able to practice as much and get any better. He's not exactly lighting it up. He's on a 6.78 in the league, which is fine. And we are trying to develop talent here at Sterling Albion. And I do like the heading and the tackling, but like, some of this makes me a little bit iffy. So I'm curious, would you extend Ross Nelson? The rest of these guys, you got Tommy Goss. I think that could be a late game decision, or like he becomes like the fringe player striker if we wanted to keep him. He is on $470 a week. Jacob Fleming, I don't think is good enough to keep around. Cammy Benny is probably here just for one season. This again, but it depends on what happens with Aaron Lennox. Sam Denham, I do want to extend. He wants an important player contract, and I do love Sam. And he's on a 7.3. Last season, he was on a 7.08. He's 24, young guy, 6'1", can play the wide center back role or the center back role. Is he worth giving an important player contract versus going out and finding like an actual championship level center back or somebody that's from the Premiership that we can loan? It just makes me a bit nervous that he wants an important player contract. Is he that good? I mean, he's all right. He's like on the cusp of having like the orangish yellow 11 here on some of this. So I'm not saying he's a bad player. He's currently 2.5 stars. So I kind of want to be like, whoa, Sam, like chill out, bro. And then that leaves you with Ross Cunningham, who I'm not going to re-sign, and Nicky Clark. We still have some decisions to take. We don't have to make those decisions right this very second. I can kind of wait as we go through the January window. I'm going to start sniffing around for another goalkeeper. I'd really like to wait till the January window closes and then go sign a goalkeeper whose contract is ending, and then we solve that situation. But I'm not sure if we're going to have the luxury of doing that. And I'm also not trying to put the cart before the horse, because we do need to get promoted first. And some of these guys, if we don't get promoted, would be good to bring back. But I think we might be able to wait until that happens to make that decision. So the next time you see us, my friends, it will be a doubleheader of Hamilton and Hibernian. Massive games, both of those. I'm actually quite excited about that. If you've enjoyed this episode, hit the like button again. Would love your thoughts on the squad build, and we'll see you next time.